How Apple's new Vision Pro will change society forever. Apple's Vision Pro headset was arguably its worst-kept secret, but it still came as a surprise when it was revealed as Apple's one last thing at the annual Worldwide Developers Conference event in Cupertino. No doubt, Apple's new Don't Call It a VR headset is the best riff on some very familiar ideas, but still searching for a purpose. While we already have VR and mixed reality headsets, what makes Apple's version such a big deal? Let's find out. Love it or hate it, it's safe to say that Apple has truly changed how the world operates. The tech giant that brought us the iMac and iPhone certainly knows its territory. So naturally, when it announced they were venturing into the world of augmented reality, the world watched with curiosity. Now the Apple Vision Pro is finally here, a revolutionary spatial computer that Apple CEO Tim Cook believes will forever change how we interact with technology. As a device mostly geared towards use indoors, we wanted to find out exactly what changes we can expect when the virtual reality headset is turned off. First things first, what exactly do we mean by Apple Vision Pro? The Silicon Valley giant's latest new launch, and the first one in a long time, may take you a while to wrap your head around, but it's actually a great metaphor to think about, if you switch the syntax around. Basically, it's a VR headset, but with more bells and whistles than you'll see floating around in the gaming world, and targeted at a much wider audience. As is the case with any type of augmented reality, the device is all about blending digital content with the physical world. Still, Apple is quick to point out that it also allows users to be present and connected to others at the same time. This creates an infinite canvas for apps that go beyond the limits of traditional display with a fully three-dimensional user interface controlled by the user's eyes, hands, and voice. Think of all your usual apps, FaceTime, Netflix, TikTok, WhatsApp, but presented right before your eyes. The Apple Vision Pro is powered by Vision OS, Apple's shiny new spatial operating system, and comes with a massive price tag of $3,500, partly because of high-end features like an ultra-high-resolution display system and a unique dual-chip design to ensure every experience feels like it's actually on the user's doorstep. Its release, according to CEO Tim Cook, marked the beginning of a new era for computing. How does the headset work? Before we get into how the headset does it, it is prudent to understand what it does. The mixed reality headset uses a built-in display and lens system to bring Apple's new Vision OS operating system into 3 dimensions. With Vision Pro, users can interact with the OS using their eyes, hands, and voice. According to Apple, this should mean that users can interact with digital content as if it is actually present in the real world. The Vision Pro does not use transparent glass, unlike the now-defunct Google Lens, despite what may appear in promotional movies where the wearer's eyes are visible. A live stream of your eyes is shown on an external display, making the eyes visible from the outside. The Vision Pro will use a total of 23 sensors, including 12 cameras, 5 sensors, and 6 mics. It will use these sensors along with its new R1 chip, 2 internal displays, one for each eye, and a complex lens system to make the user feel like they're looking at the real world, while in reality, they are essentially getting a live feed of their surroundings with an overlay on top. The R1 chip has been designed to eliminate lag and motion sickness, according to Apple. Of course, the device also features the more conventional M2 chip for the rest of its computational processes that will actually drive the apps you use with the device. Infrared cameras inside the headset will track your eyes so that the device can change the internal display based on how your eye moves and replicate how the view of your surroundings will change based on the movements. There are also downward-firing exterior cameras on the headset. These will track your hands so that you can interact with the Vision OS using gestures. There are also LiDAR sensors on the outside that will track the positions of objects around the Vision Pro in real time. Now let's rethink what a VR headset can do. The answer is that Apple's version is so much better, and not just the headset but the entire world they invite us to experience. Also, unlike other VR headsets, the Vision Pro is not just an accessory that attaches to your computer. It is a standalone wearable spatial computer in its own right. The Vision Pro envelops you in a superbly detailed, crystal-clear mixed reality world. Mixed reality combines the physical world around you and digital information and content. You can choose if you want to see through the headset entirely or be immersed in a digital space, or a combination of both. You can open up apps, web browsers, read documents, and just about whatever you'd have on your computer screen and arrange them however you want. They can float around with your real office or home in the background. Or you can darken the world and have one massive screen take up the space for watching videos and movies. You could even choose a Martian landscape and work from there. There's also 3D spatial sound to enhance further the effects and provide directionality to movies, games, and music. In terms of communication, the Vision Pro's internal cameras can create a 3D avatar of your face for video conferencing, and there's a group video conferencing too. You can send iMessages and emails just as you would on your iPhone, iPad, or iMac using voice dictation. In fact, all of Apple's apps should work inside the Vision Pro thanks to Apple's entirely new operating system, Vision OS. This will make it easier for developers to make new software for the Vision Pro and port other iOS apps to macOS programs. What is the science behind Vision Pro? We live in a three-dimensional world, and we see it in 3D, but did you know that our eyes only sense things in 2 dimensions? The depth we perceive is something our brains have learned to do. It takes 2 slightly different images from each eye and does its own processing to introduce what we perceive as depth. Presumably, the 2 displays in the Vision Pro will take advantage of this processing done by our brain by displaying 2 slightly different images, tricking our brain into thinking that it's seeing a 3D dimensional image. Once you trick the brain, you've tricked the person, and the user is now seeing in 3D. Interacting in a virtual world? One of the most hated things about VR systems is the cumbersome and clumsy VR controllers you normally need to select or move around in your virtual space. With Apple's Vision Pro, you can navigate interfaces using eye tracking, and there's hand motion tracking too. We're not quite sure how this works yet, but the goggles seem to sense your finger gestures such as taps and flicks, which can be used to flick or select items. Eye tracking can be used to select icons on your active window. Lastly, ask Siri to do things for you or dictate text. The way the virtual environment interacts with you, as well as how you engage with it, is another unique feature of the Vision Pro. A digital representation of your eyes is shown on an OLED screen on the front of the goggles, using sophisticated cameras, letting people know that you can see them and your surroundings. When someone approaches you, the eyesight feature senses it and shows them in your virtual world, as well as your eyes on the goggles. Additionally, you will occasionally be able to see through the goggles. As part of the introduction, Apple referred to the Vision Pro as the company's first product to be looked through, not at. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep up with the most exciting content. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.